All right, welcome back everyone to a new video, and in this video I actually want to share how you can start charging more for your agency slash consulting services, because I've been seeing and observing that a lot of people charge between the $200, $500 and sometimes $1,000 range and still carry a huge amount of uncertainty and inconfidence when they're presenting it on the sales call, right? So in this video I just really want to help you rationalize why you shouldn't be doing that, and it should actually be the complete opposite, where you start charging number one more. You have way more confidence in what you actually have to offer. And number three, the clients are actually stoked to work with you, and your closing rate will actually go up after understanding these few key things I'm about to discuss here. But before we dive into the video, I just wanted to quickly announce that a couple of spots have opened up for our one-on-one agency mentorship program. So if you're actually currently in need of getting help with your agency or consulting business, you can actually schedule a call with myself using the link down below, and you'll be speaking personally with myself or one of my highly trained team members. So with that out of the way, let's dive right into the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. And as I said, in this video, we're going to be discussing how we can start charging more for your services. And as you could probably directly already see, there are two widely familiar concepts in this, but that's just simply because they're foundational before I even proceed to point 3 and 4, right? Which I'll elaborate on in a bit. But basically the first one, when you're starting your agency, you can't really just go in and, start charging like $3,000 for Facebook ads, right? Because there's like a big misconception in this SMMA industry, where people think if they enter this industry and you offer Facebook ads to customers, since that's how it gets marketed, you can just charge that amount because you're offering Facebook ads and people go from offline to online. But that's not really how it works, right? It's first of all by understanding your market. That's really just the start, like the complete starting point for any kind of like agency owner or any kind of consulting business you may be starting, right? So once you have your market, the next step is really to get an offer down, right? And what you actually base your offer around is simply what your market needs, wants, or are problems they're unaware of, right? And that's like a big key thing to understand, because if you don't, people are not gonna want to take you up on your offer, right? Because if you don't have awareness over this, you're just gonna be kind of lost and scratch your head as to why people are not taking you up on their offer. So you really want to understand their needs, wants, and problems they're unaware of, right? And specifically unaware, because if a problem is clearly defined, it becomes super easy to solve for, not just people in your market, but anyone, right? So how we can actually start getting needs and wants in a market is simply by doing market research, right? So let me just give you some actionable steps as to like how you can actually go ahead and do that for if you have a client base or no client base. So first thing you really want to do is see what's actually a need or a want in a market. But in order to understand that, you have to ask good questions in order to get good answers, right? So what I have for my students, for instance, is actually a question template prepared for them to simply edit and go ahead and just specify it to the market so the questions make sense. And that's really it, right? Because once you actually acquire valid information that's applicable to make an offer that's valuable to the market, because they're literally telling you that's what they need / want, then you can go ahead and base your offer around that. But what I would do is at least talk to 20 people before you even go ahead and make your offer based off what someone tells you, even if it's like a niche participant, right? Because you have to like kind of see a pattern before you can make like, your first hypothesis of an offer that you want to bring into the market, okay? So that's really the first thing, what I mean when it comes down to understanding your market. So, you don't want to be that person that just says, I help businesses get more revenue with Facebook ads, because, there's a lot of businesses and no one wants revenue. People want profit, right? And then the second thing that I want to discuss here is a specialist versus a generalist, okay? So just a really quick example of, two people in the medical field, very similar study, but yet one earns 4 times the amount of what a GM doctor actually earns here, right? And that's simply because they have, one kind of offer that specifically is around like neurology, and they are way more specialized in simply one area of the medical field instead of like the whole general thing, right? And an annual income of a neurosurgeon is $750K a year, whereas a GM doctor, and this is based in the United States, by the way, this is not just some random numbers, you can find this on careerexplorer.com, literally they earn 4 times the amount, almost even more than that, of a GM doctor, which is crazy, okay? And the same really goes for an agency. And the reason for that is because if you're helping different markets, you have different offers, you know, like it still could work at the beginning stage, but if you're gonna do it at scale, it's really gonna break, right? Because you don't really have operations streamlined and there's no plug and play for your white label partner, for instance, if they're actually competent, to go ahead and scale it up, right? So it's really important to have one niche and one offer, you know, and as I said, you guys are probably familiar already with the first two, but these are really important to understand before you can even understand these, right? Because once you understand these, let's say you now have one niche, one offer, and the offer is really based around what the market needs and wants in the days of today, it's time to actually start selling it, right? And what most people do when they don't understand it is they actually value stack, right? And what I mean with that is, for instance, you got the Tai Lopez trend, which teaches you like how to sell a social media marketing, you know, bronze package for $997, and then you have this iron package for, you know, $2,000, and it just doesn't work like that, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes it works when you go to like a 50, 60-year-old man and they truly don't know how to really market, and you value stack it, it may sound valuable and could work, right? But that's not really, you know, what you want to rely on. I mean, at least that's how I learned it. Instead, what you really want to do is make it a result-oriented offer, all right? So let me just give you an example of what we do for our market. So basically what we do is we help plastic surgeons get more breast augmentation patients. And that's basically like our specialty, right? And it's really result-driven. And the reason why we offer breast augmentation patients is, number one, they're high ticket. Number two, they're minimal in terms of time. And number three, they have the highest margins, and there's other benefits to it, right, for a plastic surgeon. And the reason I understand that is because of these two things here. And when you actually start selling people on the outcome, so what we kind of like promise is 10 to 15 new breast augmentation patients every single month, you know, people are way more, you know, like interested if you actually offer them a result instead of like this whole value in a bag thing, right? Instead of value stacking. So let me just now give you an example for the consulting side of things. So what I offer is really, for instance, helping people with their agency or consulting business and helping them go from 0 or 5 or 10K a month to a higher mark, right? So let's just say like the amount of profit they make. Let's say a consultant is making 10K a month, they want to make 20K, that's what I give them, right? In a period of time. Or an agency owner that's really just starting from 0 and wants to go to 5 or 10K a month, right? Let's just say specifically 5K. 2 months later, he's at 5K. And it's way easier to sell that instead of like, you know, just all the services that are going to be included and, you know, what kind of outreach methods will be given and used. Like, you know, this is way more appealing, and it makes the sales call way easier than as if, you know, you're just value stacking, because this is just kind of like not working, right? And maybe you've noticed that if you've hopped on sales calls, and that's why always selling on the outcome, selling on the result is always going to kill this one, all right? And now let me just kind of discuss a compound effect here, because once you actually, let's say you get an agency client or, you know, a consulting client results, what you can get is a testimonial, right? If you politely ask and you're obviously getting them good results, you know, this causes to you charging more, because you can start selling people more and more and more confident on the outcome. And not just in confidence, you know, you're literally getting people results, and therefore your offer goes up in, you know, the pricing as well, right? I mean, let's just say for the agency, I first charged $500 per month, and now it's at a point where it's like doing $3,000 per month, right? And for my consulting business, it's really just, you know, I started charging about also $500, just a one-time fee, and now we charge no less than $3,000, right? And, you know, once you get this, it's easier to actually sort of promise on an outcome. And this is like kind of a compound effect. So like the more results you get for people, the more you can really charge. So guys, these are really just like the 4 key things that, you know, I would love for you to understand. If you need to rewatch this video, I totally get it. It's a lot of information, but once you actually understand this will really help you to start charging more for your agency or consulting business. So guys, I hope you liked the video. That was simply, you know, 4 points that I wanted to discuss as to like how you can start really charging more for your agency/consulting services. And I hope the video was extremely valuable to you. And to really just like kind of end off this video, I want to mention that first of all, we have a free Facebook group you can join. It's in the description. You can go ahead, it's free to join. What we do is like daily life events, give you insights into our own agency, share valuable resources, and also give you updates of like what's happening behind the scenes with us, okay? And then to finish up this video, what I want to say, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you need any help with your agency or consulting business, you can actually schedule a call personally with myself or Danique, and we'll be speaking with you to see if we can actually help you. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll be seeing you in the next one.